Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name's Kate if you're new. If you've been following my channel for a while, you will know that around this time I usually upload a video, which is my mid-year check-in. I don't have a particular tag for this one. We're just gonna be freeforming it. I am coming to you today in mid-July. Yep, July 19th. So I have just a little bit under a month before I go back to work in August. So yeah, last we talked was in January. So in life updates, obviously I cut all my hair off. I also got married. Is it gonna focus? I don't know. Anyway, I'll put a picture of it later maybe, but we got married in the Redwoods. It was lovely. Very small, very private, immediate family and a couple close friends. It was on April 2nd, which was our 6-year anniversary. So we're now May, June, July. Yeah, 3.5 months in to being married. Going pretty well so far. In slightly annoying news, I am coming to you right on the end of my Paxlovid dose because we managed to both pick up COVID. We think it was probably from the packed football stadium that we went to. By football, I mean soccer, because we attended a U.S. women's national team soccer game with 18,000 people in the stadium, and it was outdoors technically, but there were a lot of really packed hallways that we were moving through, so we think that was probably where we picked it up, but thankfully neither of us got hit super hard. Ash, my wife, got hit a little bit harder than me, but we're on the tail end of that, coming out of it. Really, the most annoying bit is just that we can't go anywhere because we're still contagious. So, anyway, I did manage to successfully finish out my school year, my work year, and then I also did a little bit of like summer school speech work, which was very part-time, but got me just a little bit of extra cash over the summer, which was nice. So my one big goal for my reading this year is that I want to make sure that I read at least one book a month. I would say 12 a year, except I knew going in that I was going to have a lot more than that over the summer. And so I could like hit 12 books in a year just reading over the summer. And I wanted to make sure that I did actually finish at least one book a month, which is kind of where we were in the beginning of the year. Until we got to sort of late March heading into April, which is when I have my spring break, which is when my reading usually starts to pick up. I was doing one a month, and then I started the Winter Night trilogy. And then I finished the Winter Night trilogy. I picked it up while we were having a late spring snowstorm because it seemed appropriate to be reading a book set in northern Russia while having a snowstorm. And then we lost power and it stopped being fun to read about snow while also being freezing cold. But once we got our power back, I got right back into it and ended up finishing up this series. This was really, really good. I read these like back to back, one after the other. And they went quickly, but they were so fun. Like, they had lots of really good folklore. I really liked the sort of god of death. I liked the way that she wrapped up the story. Yeah, it definitely gave me like Spinning Silver kind of vibes from Naomi Novik. Similar sort of god of winter, god of death, sort of being two sides of the same coin. And like making deals with the god of death, living with him, and falling in love with him. So, yes, very, very good. I enjoyed it a lot. The hype is real on these ones. I really liked these. These are going to be in my top of the year, I think. I did also start working on like knocking out some of my standalones, since that was a goal that I'd had last year that I didn't get to finish all of those. So I did get to Enchantment of Ravens. This one was another like deal with the Fae kind of book. I did like it. I don't know that I need to read it again. I also don't super remember what it was about. I read it in, when was this? Oh, this was in May. This wasn't even that long ago, and it's kind of mostly gone. So, did I enjoy it? Yeah. Will I read more by this author? Yeah. Do I need to keep this? Probably not. This might, find a new home for someone that will enjoy it as well. So, this one might be moving on. Winter Night I am definitely keeping, though. I did also end up joining the hype bandwagon of reading This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone. I bought this last year, I think when I was in Portland for Thanksgiving. I did it on a pals trip. And so it's just been kind of hanging around in my standalones that I've been meaning to get to. And so when the internet blew up about this, with that one account that wrecked it and that tweet went viral, yeah, I decided it was a good time to be getting into it. I went into this, even given all the hype, actually, really because of all the hype, I went into it with pretty low expectations. I will say that probably helped because I find that a lot of the queer novels that get really, really, really hyped end up not really being for me. So things like Becky Chambers and TJ Klune and those kinds of books, when they get really overhyped, they are often not really my jam because there's often a lot of lack of stakes in those kinds of books. This one didn't so much have the lack of stakes. I did really enjoy this one. If my expectations had been really high, I think I would have been disappointed. But because they were pretty darn low, I enjoyed it a decent amount. And I did enjoy Red and Blue together and their whole love letter spanning relationship. It was very fun. So anyway, is the hype totally real for this one? I would say yes, but just keep your expectations moderate. So that was most of the sort of Western literature that I read this year. Most of everything else that I've been reading have been Danmei. So I did finish the Grand Master of Demonic Cultivation. Book 5 came out, I think maybe in May. I think that's why I ended up sort of blitzing through this. I am really glad that I did not read Volume 4 until I had Volume 5, because Volume 4 ends up on a really mean cliffhanger. But anyway, I thought that this whole series was delightful. I had already watched the show, The Untamed, that is based off of these books, so I did know the general plot. But it's so great. I was so proud of them. They're so in love. They worked so hard, and they got so far, and in the end, it did even matter. This one also does have some delightfully horny extras after the main plot has finished, so I ended up enjoying that a lot. This series was great. Lanzan and Wei Ying, I'm so proud of them. They worked so hard. And yeah, it was just delightful. It's a rough story in some parts. Like, there were parts where I stalled out reading because I knew that we were in the really sad part where everything goes wrong and is terrible forever. But the payoff, it's worth it, man. It's such a good series. I did, however, finish Grandmaster of Demonic Cultivation, MTZS, and decide that it was time for a Heavenly Official's Blessing reread. So I am doing that. I'm pretty far into it. The problem is that I realized that Volume 6, which is the final volume that's out right now, is actually the one with the horrible flashback that is everything is sad and terrible forever, and it ends right at the end of that flashback. So I'm really hoping for Volume 7, which comes out in September, because then we can actually get past that and get to some nicer things. I do also need to reread Heavenly Official's Blessing, partly just because I don't super remember the ending of it. Like, I vaguely remember it, but there were some bits that I was confused about, and I'm not sure I would be able to explain it to anybody else. So that would also be nice to have. I think there's going to be a total of 8 volumes, and we're on 6 right now. 7 comes out in September, and I don't know when Volume 8 is out, but it should be out decently soon, and it is a long novel, so if you got started now, it would probably take you a while to catch up. You'd probably not catch up until it was done. So it's so good. I love Heavenly Official's Blessing. I already read it. I reviewed it. It was in my top 5 of the year whenever it was that I read it. Was that 2020? I can't remember now. But it's just so lovely. The main characters, there's kind of 2 separate timelines, but when they meet in like the present day timeline, they have just this immediate, wonderful intimacy that is like, they're so married, it's a little bit embarrassing. like watching them from the outside is like a little bit embarrassing. They're so into each other. But it's so cute. Oh my God. Also, they make out a lot. Forgot about that. I kind of forgot how many times they make out before they're like officially together, because it's all under the guise of like mouth to mouth or energy transfer, and they're just fully making out. Like there's one where they spend an entire night rolling around making out. Nothing happens beyond that. But that is delightful to me, and there's a lot of really good art about it. So yeah, I'm enjoying that immensely. It is rough, and I'm stalled out now because I don't want to finish volume 6. I don't want to get to volume 6 because that's the one with the book 4 flashback of everything is terrible all of the time. So we'll see when I get to it, but I am really enjoying the reread. Now I want to get into sort of my plans for the rest of the year, or at least for the rest of the summer. And so one of the things I decided I wanted to focus on this summer was getting through all of my like YouTube made me buy it books. So most of these are going to be people that are YouTubers. And some of these I have already started. So one of these is If Only by Melanie Murphy. I bought this on my 2019 trip. Oh, wow. You cannot read that cover. There you go. Okay. Yeah, it's a light yellow text on a light blue background, so it's not showing up super great. But Melanie Murphy is an Irish YouTuber, and I followed her for quite a while. She talked about bisexuality and makeup tutorials and things that I liked. And then that thing happened that happens to a lot of YouTubers. She got pregnant, and so a lot of her content flipped over to talking about kid stuff. And more power to you. I don't have kids. I have no desire to have kids. I am happy being an aunt. And so that kind of content just isn't super for me. So I don't really follow her anymore, but I bought the book a little bit ago, and finally got around to reading it. This one was okay. I'll talk about it more because I want to do a whole single video on all of these. It was okay. Then I am almost done with On the Other Side by Carrie Hope Fletcher, another YouTuber that I watched for a long time and I'm not really watching anymore. I'm not really on YouTube a lot anymore, and it's rare that I watch things that aren't BookTube. And yeah, she's a West End actress and singer and author, wears a lot of hats, and I still like her as an actress. I like her singing. I don't know about her author career. I don't know if this one's going to be for me. But again, more on that later. Next is going to be, I got two of these, Reputation and Infamous by Lex Croucher. I do still follow Lex a little bit more. Like I said, it's rare that I'm on YouTube, but I do follow them on Instagram and things. These seem like fun. They are historical, which makes me think that I might like them a little more than like contemporary romances. But I wanted to get both because Reputation is their first one, and then Infamous is their gay one, and I wanted to give them a shot at both. So we shall see how it goes. My experience with the previous ones makes me a little hesitant, but maybe they'll surprise me. Next, I have An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. This one I did start a while ago, and I do remember liking the prose style. Also, he's like a full adult when he wrote this, so I feel like that probably helps. The one annoying bit is that if I read this and I like it, that means that this comes with a sequel that I don't own yet. So it's another project on top of it. But this one will probably be after the Lex Croucher books for probably kind of for that reason. I've been looking for a copy of, what's it called? Like An Absolutely Remarkable Endeavor or something like that, in used bookstores and things because I want it to match the hardcover. Haven't found one yet, but we'll keep looking. And then this last one is just kind of a little coda. This isn't actually a YouTuber, like a YouTuber did not write this book, but it is Spontaneous by Aaron Starmer. And the reason I bought this book is because John Green recommended it and in a YouTube video. So it kind of feels like it counts, even though it's not technically a YouTuber book. This one I think also had either a TV series or a movie come out based on it. So you might know what it's about. People suddenly start spontaneously combusting. It's supposed to be like a dark comedy. We shall see. Like I said, John Green really liked it, and that was why I bought it. So that is my sort of current project. I'm debating if I want to do just like a wrap-up video for the YouTuber books or if I want to do like a vlog style. Haven't decided yet. I would say tell me your preference in the comments, except that by the time this gets uploaded, that video will probably already be done. Because I just have not been the fastest about uploading videos to YouTube. So we'll see what I end up doing. I guess we'll find out at the same time, huh? So honestly, the YouTuber stuff I can probably get through relatively quickly, hopefully before I go back to work. I believe I can get through those in a month when I'm not working. So with the rest of my time, I do have a few sort of picked out as sort of the main ones that I'm trying to get to. I do want to get to the Locked Tomb series and do my reread of Gideon and Harrow to then read Nona. The thing is, I'm kind of stalled on it until we get Alecto, because I have a feeling I'm going to have to reread all of these before Alecto anyway. So I'm a little bit just like, why don't I just hold off and just read them all at once? Also, just because my poor gay heart can't take it. But I keep seeing like amazing fan art and I want to know about Nona, so I don't know. I'm undecided on that. I did do Gideon in January, and then I started Harrow. The problem was that I realized that I needed to have the character list from Gideon in order to make sense of Harrow. And they only have new characters in the character list for Harrow, so I need to have like both of them with me in order to remember who the fuck anyone is, because their names are so similar that I get them confused very, very easily. So anyway, that's why it's been slow going, partly because I'm mentally not prepared for it because I want Alecto to be out, and partly because my memory sucks and I need to have both of them there so that I can flip back and forth and try to remember who the fuck anyone is. I do also now have the completed City We Became, World We Make duology by N.K. Jemisin. I accidentally bought World We Make twice and had to return my extra copy. That was the first time I'd ever done that. I was very embarrassed. I have intentionally bought books that I've already had a copy of, like if I had an advanced reader copy and I wanted to get the first edition. I have intentionally bought books I've already owned. That was my first time unintentionally buying the same book. But anyway, I love me as some N.K. Jemisin, and I love me some completed duologies. So this is definitely on my list. I did pick up the audiobook for City We Became. So depending, I might do it on audio. We'll see. I've been doing The Daughters of Inri on audio lately, and it's been taking me forever because the book is so fucking slow. Like I'm more than halfway through the book. The two twins haven't even met yet. Like, that's the main driving point of the book and hasn't happened. Very little has happened. And yeah, anyway, I'm just getting kind of fed up with it. So if I decide to, I might switch over at some point and do N.K. Jemisin series instead. We'll see. If you've read The Daughters of Inri, let me know. Does it pick up? Does anything actually happen in book one? Let me know. I'm struggling. I also now own Sea Sparrow, which came out like October last year after I spent the summer rereading the Graceling series. Here's the thing. Remember what I said about my memory sucking? I think I need to reread Bitterblue and Winterkeep before I can read Sea Sparrow. And I don't know how I feel about that. This is another one also where I don't know when the series is going to end, so there's a part of me that's like, ooh, read it now. And then there's another part of me that's like, oh, if the last book in the series comes out in a year, then maybe you just want to hold off for that. But we have no idea. So anyway. However, speaking of rereading, I did realize that I might have a bigger project ahead of me because I picked up The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro, which is the gay Nico and Will book. Here's the problem. This takes place after Trials of Apollo, and I never finished Trials of Apollo, and also kind of just want to reread the entire Percy Jackson series. So here's the thing. I own box sets of Percy Jackson and the Olympians and of Heroes of Olympus. That part's not a problem. I think I need to ask for the box set of Trials of Apollo for Christmas, maybe? and then I need to get to Sun and the Star. I am very, very excited about this book. Mark is a friend of mine. I love Rick Riordan's books. I love Nico and Will. This is a lot of things that I love, a lot of things that I want to get into. There's a lot of homework I need to do before I can actually read this book. So, how much of that homework will we get done? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Maybe I should vlog that. That might be fun. Doing a whole reread of the Percy Jackson series, that'd be fun. Most of the standalones that are on my list are the same as last year, so Priory of the Orange Tree. I don't know that we're getting to this one this year, but it's still on there. I have The Near Witch by V.E. Schwab. I picked this up at a Half Price Books a little while ago. I have The Raven Tower by Ann Leckie. I did add a couple, so I now have Summer Suns by Lee Mandello on there. This one was recommended as fans of the Raven Boys, like Maggie Stiefvater's The Raven Boys, and I think is also queer. So into that. And then I've also just had this book, Shadows by Robin McKinley, on my shelf for quite a while, and I usually like Robin McKinley books, so I figured that this one should also go on the list, because I'd like to start knocking some of these out. And I also kind of feel like this might be a little bit Enchantment of Ravens-y, like it might have a similar kind of vibe. So anyway, that is going to be it for my mid-year check-in. So what I've read, what I'm reading, what's coming up. I am going to be working at the same school when I start back up in August. So for the first time ever, I will be at the same school with the same caseload, the same teachers, same everything. I am very much looking forward to that. I'm really hoping that I will be less stressed this coming year. It would also help if we didn't have wildfires that made us evacuate for 10 days and just completely fucked me over at the start of the school year. That would be wonderful. So anyway, I have high hopes for this coming school year, you know, for things like my energy levels, ability to get things done after work, ability to not just be a burned out husk that needs to smoke a joint and lie on the couch for 3 hours after work every day. But I've also been promising more frequent videos for about 2-3 years now, so I feel like maybe you can see the writing on the wall with that one. We'll see how it goes. I've been debating if I should do any kind of like short form content, if that would be a thing that would be fun to do, you know, like Bookstagram reels or like book talk or things like that. I do technically have a TikTok. I don't really use it for anything other than scrolling and watching and then saving videos that my wife would like to watch. And I am on Instagram quite a bit, but I've never gotten a handle on like how to make reels or anything like that. So I don't know. I might just be too old for that kind of stuff. Too old and too crotchety about learning new technology. I don't really have a set outro, so I've just been kind of rambling. So anyway, let me know how you're doing in the comments. Let me know how your reading's been going. And we'll see you with another video, hopefully before the end of the year. I would like to get another video out before my year-end wrap-up. That's my realistic goal. So anyway, see y'all soon. Bye.